Lead yourself. LeadSA.
Time for our weekly showcase of either individuals or organizations that are making a difference in their community. And today it's really a bit of both, because I'm going to be speaking to the individual who got this particular ball rolling, now representing a far bigger organization than she was when I last chatted to her a couple of years ago. The individual is Karen Moss. The organization is known as STEPS. And if you cast your mind back a couple of years ago, I shared with you the story of Karen Moss, who in 2003 had a son born with Clubfoot. And she was worried about the potentially quite invasive surgery that was being recommended to correct it, and did a lot of absolutely relentless research into what her other options were. Long story short, she found a Spanish orthopedic surgeon working in the USA who had come up with a non-invasive method known as the Ponseti method for Dr. Ponseti. And Karen's son saw remarkable and very quick results as a result of using this method. And since then, Karen has been on a quest to make sure that other families have access to treatment to correct clubfoot and have all the help that can be channeled their way to make sure that these children are able to live normal lives. In 2005, she founded the non-profit organization known as STEPS, and it's a great pleasure to welcome her back to the show this afternoon. Lovely to chat to you again.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Won't you remind us, just by way of starting, why it's so important that STEPS exists? How prevalent is clubfoot in South Africa?
Well, studies have shown that we have the second highest rate in the world in our population, and we estimate about 2,000 children every year are born, which is round about 1 per 500 children born in South Africa.
Okay, so that's high prevalence, and it's a condition which, if it's not treated, can have massive impacts on quality of life.
Absolutely. If you don't treat clubfoot, it's a very rigid condition where your foot is turned over and inwards, so you literally cannot walk on the bottom of your foot. Plus, the ankles will then get set into a very rigid position, so you have very little flexibility. So essentially, without correct treatment, clubfoot is a disability, untreated.
If untreated, and of course the crucial thing here is that treatment is available, and as you discovered in your own personal story, treatment doesn't necessarily have to be invasive surgery. There are other options.
Yes, for the majority of children, this is a very effective and low resource method, so it can be done in all kinds of clinics by well-trained people, and for the average child born with clubfoot, it is extremely successful. There will be a few cases where a little bit more is needed, but generally, in studies, it's been over 95% successful in achieving a very good result.
Now, one of your aims as STEPS is to make sure that children have access to treatment regardless of where they are and what their financial circumstances are. So even if they're far away from main centres and don't have the money to spend on private doctors, etc., you want them to still be able to go on to live a normal life. How successful have you been in bringing that goal into achievable results?
Well, based on what we have worked out with the clinics that we support, we've partnered with various public health clubfoot clinics. So what happened was, when I first started STEPS, I brought international doctors in to train our local surgeons in this method, and that was in 2006. Those initial group have grown into a faculty which actually trains people around Africa as well now, and they can then train all the medical students that are coming through. So we have a nice body of very effective people working in public health. And obviously, because the majority of children that are born with clubfoot will go through the state health, we work very closely with them in terms of setting up their clinics, providing the admin and parent education that they need to support these children, because clubfoot treatment is usually from birth to 4 years. So it is quite a long process for the parents. They don't have to go there all the time, but there needs constant evaluation and checkups as well. So it needs to be followed through.
Now, you've obviously done a great deal, made huge inroads in the ensuing years, and one of the sort of things that needs to continue for that work to continue is awareness, and awareness of who you are, awareness of what you're doing, awareness of the fact that help is available if you have a child born with this condition. And I believe you have a new celebrity ambassador who is helping you achieve that goal of awareness.
Yes, we're very excited. Saturday is World Clubfoot Day, the 3rd of June, which is Dr. Ponsetti's birthday. He was born on the 3rd of June. And we were very, very excited and happy to have Cameron van der Berg, the Olympic swimmer, choose us as the cause that he feels passionately that he wants to help children to be treated, to get the message out to the public that get your kids to the clinic early and they can have flexible feet.
Well, I'd like to know why he chose you with such passion, and it's a great pleasure to welcome Olympic swimmer Cameron van der Berg on the line from somewhere in Europe. You're swimming the FINA Championships, aren't you, Cameron? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. Really great to be on. Yeah, we're based in Europe at the moment, just doing a little bit of training, gearing up for the World Champs coming in July.
Okay, thanks for making time for us, Cameron, in the midst of what must be a very busy training schedule, I know. What made you want to associate yourself with STEPS? What made you passionate about this cause?
Well, when I heard about the cause, it really struck sort of a bit of a heartbeat with me. And when I was young, I broke my ankle. And being a breaststroke swimmer, your ankles are sort of where you make your living. It's quite an essential part of the stroke. And when I did break it, the doctor did tell me that probably that I'd never be able to swim breaststroke again. Wow. But I was very fortunate that, I had access to some of the best healthcare or medical care out there. And 2 operations later, I did the 5 yards and I came back and I was able to swim breaststroke again and go on to win an Olympic gold medal. But, just in hindsight or thinking back, I do remember the fear of being told that, that swimming is my passion and that you weren't actually going to sort of have access to that again, and you're almost going to be disabled in my own stroke or in my own passion that I love so much and that has taken me so far. So hearing about, these unfortunate kids that are born with clubfoot and I didn't even know what clubfoot was when they told me, but just trying to get awareness out there and letting people know that it is something that it doesn't have to disable you for the rest of your life if you get the right treatment early on, and it is really life-changing. Going to the clinic, seeing these kids, seeing the parents and the relief on their faces when Karen and everyone's there helping the kids and they're putting the cast on them. It's it's so pain-free. It's when kids are that age, they're like a little rag doll. So it's nice to see that it's not invasive at all, and put the parents at ease.
Okay, we're struggling a little bit with our phone line. I hope you've been able to hear Cameron. If we've still got you, Cameron, where to from here? Are you intending to remain an ambassador for STEPS going forward, and what do you hope to help them achieve?
It's a great honor for me to be able to be called an ambassador, and going forward, my main goal is just awareness, to try and get it out there on all my social platforms wherever I can, and try and just make people aware that help is there when needed, and there is a cure for this, and treatment is available. So it's a great initiative, and I'm such so honored to be able to be called an ambassador.
Cameron van der Berg, we'll let you get back to the pool. Thank you so much for hopping out of that pool to chat to us this afternoon. Cameron obviously doesn't need very much in the way of introduction, but a reminder that he is an Olympic gold medal swimmer, sharing there the personal perspective on foot injury, which made him feel a special alignment with the cause of clubfoot. Karen, how significant is it for you to have somebody of that stature and that caliber, whose face and name are so recognizable to the South African public? Do you think it'll be make a big difference for you in terms of raising awareness of what you do?
I think it's going to make a big impact because we obviously, it does help that he's a high-profile person. I think the clubfoot doesn't get much publicity. It's not something that a lot of people know about. And the fact that someone that's got his kind of audience is interested in these children's lives and wants to make a difference, it's going to create more attention from the public. We're going to try our best to get it into the media as much as we can, to find supporters. Currently STEPS is reaching about 50% of kids born every year with clubfoot. We want to make that 100% so that no child ever has to walk on stiff and painful feet, and Cameron, I think, is going to play a big part in that. And what I do love about him is he's incredibly hardworking and humble individual, and he really does want to make a difference. This is not just going to be a face for STEPS. He's going to be very involved.
That's fantastic.
In our campaigns.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Karen, you've already mentioned that it's World Clubfoot Day on Saturday, the 3rd of June. Do you have any special events or campaigns planned for the weekend?
Well, we're having parties at all our clinics. Last year we had a campaign where we sold shoelaces, so people probably still have their turquoise shoelaces that we made. We do have some available still, so they're very welcome to go to our website and order laces. For every pair of laces you buy, the money goes to buy a child a Clubfoot brace. So we have, I think we have to sell 100 laces and we can buy a Clubfoot brace. So it's a great initiative, and we are going to have some more plans in the pipeline very soon with Cameron. So for World Clubfoot Day, we just want to talk a lot about it, acknowledge the wonderful doctors and the parents and the kids at our clinics. We're having cupcakes and, parties at celebrating Dr. Ponsetti's birthday. Just getting the word out that Clubfoot can be treated.
Karen, just in closing, your son born in 2003, so he must be a teenager by now. Good luck to you at Stacta, but how is he doing? What was his long-term prognosis like?
Oh, completely 100% flexible, plays sport, he runs around, he has no pain in his feet. Feet are very stretchy, he surfs, he plays, he was playing cricket, he's now becoming a golfer, but that's his new passion. So I absolutely, you would never have known that he was born any other way, which is, whenever I see a new mother, I just saw some today, was 5-day-old babies. I always tell them about my son because, it can happen and the story can have the most amazing ending. And as long as you stick to the treatment, things can change for your child.
A walking, running, jumping, kicking example of what you're trying to achieve for every parent. Karen, thank you for doing what you're doing, and wishing you and everybody involved in your network of clinics a happy Clubfoot Day on Saturday. I don't know if you can wish that, but we wish you a happy day together, celebrating the progress that you've made is perhaps a better way to put it. And I hope that our listeners will visit your website for more information. It's steps.org.za. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. We're based in Cape Town, but we have people around the country working in different clinics. So anyone who's listening is very welcome to contact us. And if you want to get involved or just know more about it, then please join us.
Karen Moss, the founder of Steps. So steps.org.za is the website to visit. And a LeadSA candidate, if ever there was one. 26 new Clubfoot clinics opened, nearly 400 healthcare workers trained, over 1,000 Clubfoot braces delivered, more than 1,500 patients enrolled in the years that Steps has been in operation, delivering outcomes for parents who must have felt very scared and very alone at the time their children were born. It's wonderful work that they're doing. Keep it up, Karen, and lovely to have Cameron Vandenberg on board as well.